3 goals you have for your kids. Have fun, good education, success, respect, good health, love, right? Happy, right? You want our kids to be happy. So here's usually the top 3 that parents have. Health. You want your kids to be healthy, right? Because heaven forbid you have a healthy kid, a lot of issues. So I thank my lucky stars that I do have healthy kids. Now with that comes open mouth, and they talk back and everything else, but I guess that's better than visiting my kids in the ICU, because they have health. They want their kid to be happy. What does that mean to be happy? Good attitude. So when they're home playing on that PlayStation downstairs and that Wii, and they got a great game going, they say, just finish, I'm not quite done yet, let me finish this game. They're like, no, 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 go do your homework. He's like, no, 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 I'm in the middle of this game. What is your son doing? Your son's having fun, right? And the last part is success. What's success? What is success?
Yeah, I want him to have success by doing what he loves and he'll never work a day in his life.
Right. Doing what you love, not working a day. So if you do what you love, you never work a day. I've heard that before, right? So that's success. Anybody else? What is success?
Achieve your goals.
Achieve your goals. Now, real quickly, to your boys, what's happiness to them? What's it mean to be happy? Play ball. Play ball. What else?
Having friends.
Having friends.
Being accepted.
Who's being accepted? Who's more important in their life, you or their friends? Oh, man, ain't that the truth. Right? But it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. You want that for them, right? And what is success? What's success for your kid?
To do well in what they want.
To do. Is it? What's success? Well, they want to make money. It's a blueprint on life, right? Go to school, get good grades, go to good college, get a good job, make a lot of money, and somehow that's give the magic to success, right? That's what we teach them, right? We know it's not true. Those who believe in that blueprint. So success might be something different. And especially, how many of you would want to be a teenager today? Just curious.
I want to be my son.
So I'm going to come back to my son too, because I know how well good they have been, right? But it is an extremely tough world in which we raise our kids. Extremely tough. It's extremely difficult. Take a moment now and write down what are your 3 top goals you have for your kids in terms of ball. Why did you select? Why do you want them to play baseball? What are your top 3 goals? Maturity, discipline, respect, work for a team, competitive nature, build confidence. Wait, hold on. Build confidence. You want baseball to teach your kid confidence. You've enrolled your kid in a sport with have something called batting, where the professionals that make millions of dollars don't do it well 70% of the time. You want to teach your kid confidence.
The odds are good.
The odds are good, right? Why would you possibly pick baseball? For confidence. He picked it. Does he know what he picked? My freshman at Columbia was doing great. I mean, saw Justin and his just numbers. Phew! I realized he hits a patch. Went for 0 for 14 over 4 games. I pulled him and he said, oh, this kid is miserable. He's coming out and said, Dad, don't talk to me. I can't go to the game. Dad, don't talk to me. Are you okay, right? Don't talk to me. And I used to coach, and so I kind of stay back, and I don't want to get in his face. And just get away. Right? Just kind of, you kidding me? 0 for 14. So I said, listen, I got to tell you why, because I introduced the game of baseball to my son. It was a burden to me because I couldn't hit very well, and that's all you want to do is hit. And so I taught him the true reason why I wanted to play baseball, is I wanted to learn how to fail. Plain and simple. I wanted to learn that you have to fight through it. I wanted to learn that it's not going to come easy. That something means something to you, something really matters. You accept that adversity and you find a way to fight through it. No matter what. I'll do whatever I can to support you, but it's got to come from you. True. That's the mental stuff. That's what I just think is just going to happen. You can work all you want. Have you heard something that practice makes perfect? Have you heard that before? How many believe that practice makes perfect? What happens if you practice something imperfectly? Will you then be perfect? Then your perfect practice is now proven to be imperfect. Now, they would say perfect practice makes perfect. And so he somehow said this idea that somehow you have to be perfect. In sports, we talk about being perfect. There's a great scene in Friday Night Lights. In the movie, I remember that movie, they played football. He says, you know, can you be perfect for now, for in this moment, whatever it might be. And so that's the bar of excellence. It's helping our kids set a bar of excellence to achieve for something. But a lot of times, how do we often see failure in our society, our culture? How do we see it? Do we embrace failure? When's the first time you learned about failure? Honestly, learn about what failure means. What grade? Middle school, usually in middle school. Now grade school, elementary school, there's not many grades, there's S's and P's and U's, and maybe by your 5th grade year they're kind of transitioning, but when you get to middle school, all of a sudden now come the fails and the F's. And we tell our kids, you know, C's are acceptable, A's and B's, and we put this pressure, all because we know about education, but we teach them this, instill them about this idea behind failure. And then we throw them on the ball field. They want them to fail. And yet they go in the box, and chances of them striking out are pretty good. And so we don't understand this idea behind failure. These are the opportunities that baseball provides that I think can build character, like you talked about. And so we don't want to shy away from it, we want to embrace it. What I want to do is spend some time focusing on the mental attitude of a parent, helping your kids achieve what is called peak performance. Any questions so far? What I'm going to do next might make you feel awkward, a little weird, go, ooh, I can't believe you just did that to me. Not for a bad reason, thank you, but for the right reasons. So on that sheet where it says, everybody can copy this? Where it says investments, on the left-hand side, where it says professional, I would like for you to take down and just write, you can do whatever you want to your shorthand, how much money you've invested in your own professional development. College life, whatever it is, how much money have you invested in terms of your professional career? Think about college, think about graduate school, think about if you went to medical school, whatever it is, I'm just curious to know, think about if you went to business, what kind of training, how much money you think you've invested in your professional side of your life, your career, your job. Right-hand side, take a moment and write down how much money you've invested in taking courses and workshops on how to be a parent. Dr. Spock, What to Expect When You're Expecting, that book certainly counts. I read that on a weekly basis 4 times. Difference in terms of the investment of your money and resources in terms of your training for you as a professional parent, as a parent. I know that most people look at the kids as the prized possession. Me too. I know that there's the 4 things that matter most every night when I go to sleep are that my kids' heads are on their pillow safely. My oldest daughter and my son, I still drive them crazy. I still go look at the door to make sure they're okay before they go to sleep. I just don't really spend time taking some kind of parent workshop. There's no, you know, I had asked Joel to make sure you guys bring your user guide with you. Do you have it? It's called the Parent User's Guide, the teen version. Right? There's no user's guide in the book. There's no. I keep telling my son there's no right. I don't know how to. I don't even know what I'm doing at times. I just think I'm just doing the best I can in the moment. There's no book. You know, but I do know one thing. When my kids hurt, I hurt too. I hurt too. And I'd imagine if you care about your kid in the same way, you can feel that same sense, that same peace. And so when my son was playing on a New Brand fall team, and there was a nice guy, and we signed him up, and he was new to the team, and he was out there, he was sitting on the bench, in the dark, cold night, it was a fall team, 1st inning, okay, 2nd inning, 3rd inning, 4th, and by the 6th inning, I'm sitting there pacing the back, and I'm like, what am I kidding? My kid's head was where? That's where he sat. That's all he did, was just sit like this. I kept saying, dude, come on, play. Dad, this sucks. What? Dad, it sucks. Just want to play ball, man. Just want to play ball. Meanwhile, there's a brand new team. He didn't play in that game. We talked about it at the pizza, and I said, listen, if you want to play, that's fine. He said, no, coach. He said, no, Dad, I don't want to do that. He goes, I like these kids in the team. I like the coach. But I just kind of want to figure out what to do. I said, well, if that's the case, then it's your job. It's your job. He was 13 at the time. I said, it's your job to figure out what it is you need to do. He says, I don't want to do that. Because I've learned as a coach, when I've coached other parents, the worst thing for me, in terms of doing, was trying to communicate with parents. because I honestly believed I had the best interest in everybody. I did. And I was sitting there and I knew not to go crazy at the game. But I saw my kid, what I thought was hurting. And I will tell you, after we had the conversation and he found out what was going on, he played the next game and shared different spots and his attitude changed completely. But I didn't do it for him. So I've always taught my players is teach them how to advocate for themselves. Part of the mental game is learning how to advocate for yourself. Because what happens, like most adults, we get inside our head, right? Our head is a terrible place to be. Because we automatically go to the worst place. 3 out of 4 people in this negative place, right? And so what happens, it passes on to our kids. And so we're very easily on the sideline screaming at the umpire for making a bad call. At whoever it is, screaming and yelling. And we're just trying to advocate for our kids because we want to be fair. There's some kind of situation going on in the field, and there was a dad sitting at the top of the stands, and his son was coming up to hit. And I can hear him screaming, "Keep your head in the game, keep your eye on the ball, stay focused, don't drop your arms," just going on and on and on, screaming at this poor kid, right? Everybody can hear it. The guy was right up in the stands. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, breathe, just a nice day, enjoy the sun. And screaming, "Keep your eye, oh, that's a terrible call, it's outside." Meanwhile, he's way out over here, umpire's back over here. Kid strikes out. Kid strikes out. He hits the top bar, screams the F word, throws the F-bomb, boom! "I'm so tired of this." Literally stopped, the kid looks up, puts his head down in shame. Now, I kept thinking to myself, curiously, what would have happened if that kid had gotten a hit? What would have happened in that situation? Who do you think would have taken credit for that hit? Right? Which means I'm doing the right thing by riding my kid hard. Now, I don't know your relationship with your kids. I don't know it all. I don't know what kids take in, what kids don't take in. But I sat this whole thing transpired and thought to myself, well, how is, in a situation how does that help in the mental aspect of the game? How does that help in terms of not getting your kid's head? If you're going to play baseball, you are going to strike out. If you're going to pitch, you're going to pitch balls. If you're going to field, you're going to boot some balls. That's just the nature of the game. But we keep these kids about something about being perfect. And somehow we think that's something to aspire to. What if I told you your kids are perfect already? But the day that they're born, they're perfect already. But because of our other stuff, our mishmash in terms of who we are as human beings and parents, we actually kind of mess them up. I mean, that's why I keep telling my kids, we're going to spend lots of money in therapy later on because I'm doing my job as their parents. Kids, accept responsibility. That's a mental piece. Accept a bad swing. Accept your teammate might blow something. Don't blame them. When your kids come back, don't say, "Hey man, you're amazing, you're great." Say, "You worked really hard to get to where you got to. Because of all that work, that paid off." Not that you're amazing and great, because all of our kids are amazing and great. I would like for you to count the F's to yourself. Now it's possible you've done this before. If you have, just kind of count the F's to yourself. F's. F is in Fred. Now, how would you count? Counted 4. All right, good. So we'll talk about that. How would you count? 8? How would you count? 8? 8? 4? 4? 7, 5, 4. Right? So that's not a trick.
I think I'm close to 4.
7. How would you count? Okay. Right? Who's right? Without going into detail, who's right? Who's right? Of course I'm right. Who's right? Everybody at this moment is right. Lisa, would you mind reading it, like read out loud and say feature 1 and count that way?
Oh, you say feature
Yep.
1F, films 2, or the result of years of scientific 3.
Excellent.
Study combined with the experience of years of professional.
Excellent. 4. Fantastic, right? So Lisa,
Yeah.
there are 4 F's. Now,
Is this yours or the same?
what I'd like you to do, exactly, I like Lisa, what I'd like you to do, I would like you to start
Did
with
you say the same thing?
Exactly, it's exactly the same thing. Lisa, what I'd like you to do is I want you to start with the last word first, and then count the F's that way. Yeah.
We're really
Yes.
tight.
You're doing great.
Professionals is 1, right? Of is 2. Oh, we forgot. Yeah, okay. Shut up. Yeah. You count experience for the with, combined, study, scientific, there's another one, Dan. Of again, years of again. Yeah, all right, we got it now.
You got it.
Films feature, yeah, we got it
You
now.
got it, right? So, there are actually 8 F's. There are actually 8. Something happened, Lisa. Lori, right? What happened?
We skipped the little word.
We struck out.
He didn't strike out. But it's a great metaphor in terms of being a parent. It's a great metaphor for a parent. All right, our kids these experiences, life experience. We know ultimately that sports can really provide tremendous life learning experiences for our kids. That's why I have my kids playing sports. Competition, give him something to do after school so they're not wasting time. He doesn't do his homework anyhow, so at least he's doing something with his time. Right? But for the most part, there's lots of different things that we want to give our kids in terms of baseball. Some of the kids actually have some incredible talent. And some kids who stick with it develop into that talent. I had a great kid who was 11 years old, played catcher, came out to try out for me for his 11-year-old year. He played for me for 3 years before and didn't make the team. Felt terrible. We only had room for 12 kids. There was an A team and a B team. He was very upset, spent time and time and time. His name is Brian. Walked through his house, walked over and said, listen, don't give up. I don't want to play baseball. Don't do it. Play B, be a hero. Don't give up. I'll work with you. Don't give up. You'll see. Learn to fight, learn to persevere. A year later, trying out for the 12U team, he comes out, makes the team. We make it to the state tournament. We played Cal Ripken. There he was, a year later, the starting catcher playing in a state tournament. A year later. And the kid's ginormous now. The kid's just a beast. But he didn't give up. Some of these kids who are little kids in middle school, 11, 12 little pitchers, are going to hit growth spurts. And some kids who are hot shots at 13, 14, they're going to get passed. They're going to. We have no idea who our kids are going to turn out to be. We have no idea. All I know is those kids who find passion, we feed it, it's going to pay off in the long run. It's going to come around. It's going to come around. And so we look at these youth sports, we start thinking to ourselves, we just want to give our kids these great experiences, but in the long run we have no idea what it's going to mean, because the only thing that's meaning is the meaning you give to it. And so we talk about why you choose these things, is be honest. Is it really about learning how to hit 900 or 1,000? Or is it about confidence? What does it mean to have confidence in baseball? It might surprise you. Carry the baggage. We want to give that baggage. It's called the law of the garbage truck. Have you heard that? We as parents carry this garbage. We got to dump it somewhere, so we might as well just dump it onto our kids. Boom, you're right there, sit with it. So we dump our garbage, our own concerns, our own angst. It was some kind of experience you had as a kid when the coach treated you some way. And you don't want that to happen to your kid. One of the things you're going to do is create what is called a vision board. Anybody familiar with something called a vision board? Yeah, you are. Now, if you notice around here, what do you see around here? What do you see? Baseball players. Obviously, we're at ball player's edge. If we saw gymnastics and ballerinas, that would be a different kind of place, right? Right? Why do you see baseball players? Why do you see jerseys? Why do you see Derek Jeter, Josh Hamilton, Albert Pujols? Why? They see these people, and this is who I want to be, right? We want to be like that. Now, what your head is plays 85 to 90% of what you do in baseball. And so you come in here, this is a vision board. You come in and you see Eric Broad, David Wright, and Josh Hamilton. These are the people. So the same thing is in the rooms. What's on the rooms? What are in your boys' rooms? Baseball players. Trophies. See trophies, right? Baseball players. Why? They didn't just get there. And so part of what I did, my son wanted to put these players up in his room. I said, that's great. But you sit down and tell me why you want this player and this player. What is about this player that means something to you? What is about Derek Jeter? Why? Why him? At the time he put A-Rod up. I'm like, why A-Rod? Why him now, right? But at the time, that was before all this stuff. But I had him articulate why he had that player up. Why is he so important to you? What does he mean to you? What does he have in him that you can bring out yourself? Jose Reyes was a shortstop, hot shortstop. Right? Because he could get everything. He was like, vacuum dad. I just want to be a vacuum cleaner out there. He was 12, right? Be a vacuum. But all those things mean something. Have them put meaning to those pictures, not just pictures up there. Have them understand what it took. Some of the sacrifices. If anybody knows a story about Derek Jeter, he was 18, cried like a baby. Cried like a baby, 18-year-old kid. He was among men. Scared to death. Most kids don't know, they just see this great guy out there. It's like anybody else. What do? They just didn't show up. And they had either supportive parents who took them all over the place, they had supportive siblings, all those different components in terms of what it meant to sacrifice in terms of vision. So they're going to create their own vision board. I'm meeting with them twice, right? Two times, right? Each team, two times. The first time is kind of talking about this. The second time they will have to come back and talk about their vision board and why it's their vision board. All right? You can Google vision board. It's a piece that allows you focus. If you haven't created one, professionals, you do it. If you don't know where you're going, what your piece is, what your future is, you're not going to know if you're going to go there. It's something I believe very much in, and then part of the vision board, eventually you create a mission to get you there. And something you live with, it's part of how you create positive thinking. It's how you do it. So P actually stands for performance. Right? The P stands for performance. Part of baseball is how you perform. But I'm going to tell you, the fact that you've chosen baseball, the thing about performance is not being exceptionally well, it's not about doing your best, it's how you overcome adversity. That's what makes a great baseball player in terms of the mental game. How do you bounce back? Are you the kid, you strike out, you go out the field head down because you just struck out? Are you more concerned about the name on the back of the jersey instead of the name on the front of the jersey? How are you going to stay focused in terms of your performance? How do you overcome adversity? Talk about building confidence. Talk about a sense of success. Congratulate them when they come back to you and they fought through that adversity to get better, to get stronger. At some point I'm meeting with the players. And part of what I want to do is it's called the 5 Pillars of Pride. It focuses on the mental piece of coaching. And I don't think it's going to happen in the fall. We're going to kind of get started on it. This is more of a long-term piece. But everybody's going to get a playbook in terms of the 5 Pillars of Pride, in terms of how to focus on the mental aspect of the game. Because if you want to talk about confidence, what are your goals? What does it mean to be confident? What does it mean to overcome that? And just because you swing and get a hit, does that make you good? Is that a good at bat? We as coaches know a successful at bat is not necessarily a base hit. It stands for respect. R stands for respect. It's respect for your teammates. It's respect for yourself. I feel it's really respect for the parents. And sometimes things aren't necessarily fair. And sometimes things don't always go your way. And how do you understand, how do you respect yourself to go through it? And we went back to the game. This game has been around for a long time. I have pulled my hair numerous times because of baseball. Respect the game, it changes the way you focus on what happens. If you respect the game, you strike out, it's part of the game. You don't get mad at yourself and upset and throw your bat. I was a bat thrower. It would be embarrassing. I'm the coach. There's my kid throwing the bat. I'm like, dude, please stop. Please just stop throwing. All those other parents are saying, look at the coach's kid, you're throwing the bat. Please just stop throwing the bat. So what does he do? Starts throwing his helmet. Because he get back in the dugout and throw his helmet down, right? He's no longer that way. He's matured. I taught him really wisely, you gotta respect the game, especially now. It's gonna be here a long time. I have no idea what kind of path you have. You have the potential, but I can't play the game for you as much as I'd like to, as I'd love to. I go back and do it so much different. It's really up to you, but respect. Integrity. What does integrity mean? What does integrity mean? Do the best you can. Play with integrity. I always tell my players how you act off the field is much more important than how you act on the field. And that how you do in your classroom and your grades in the field. And you know how I feel about winning and losing on the field. Which just lets you know how much important I believe that grades and how you act off the field is. This is a game about integrity. That we're really bringing incredible young men. That we can help these kids understand what it means to be a team player. What it means to be a leader. What it means to be someone who can persevere, set up work ethic and work habits. Kids, we all have this very, very powerful belief system. We often pass that belief system on to our kids. And they embrace that belief system. So if you fear failure, your kids are going to do what? Fear failure. Now I will tell you there's no failure. We've taught them that, but honestly, if you look back on your life, all those so-called mistakes or failures you had really weren't failures. They were life experiences. Now, if you keep making the same choice over and over again, you might want to come call me and I can see you aside and we can do some coaching. But ultimately, those are all growing pieces. You put your kids in sports to experience life. And let them get down. Let them feel the pain. I happen to know that when we feel pain, we actually learn a lot more than we can when we don't feel pain. But it's a product of their belief system. They have lots of beliefs. If they believe that they have to be a 900 hitter, and they are only a 750 hitter, they're going to see themselves as what? Failure. That's their belief system, and they learn that from us. They learn from school, they learn from all the teachers, all the stuff they see in the media in terms of what success is. But integrity is something you have within themselves. Play with integrity. Treat your players with integrity. Treat other parents with integrity. When you walk off the field, please and thank you. Because who you represent, yourself here, means something out there. Because ultimately, we're about character and content of character, who we want to be. And we want to know that what you're part of is something much more than just a game. It's all about life. I have a saying that if life's just a game, who's your coach? Right? That's a big thing about that. D stands for determination. This is about taking risks. It's about being determined. You stuck them in a situation in baseball, you couldn't help them find a better sport. It's about determination. It is very easy to quit and walk away from baseball. It happens all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. I told my son, you don't want to play baseball? I'm fine with that. Soccer, you want tennis, golf, whatever. I'm fine with that. But if you're going to play, be determined. What's your goal? It teaches that sense of perseverance. And part of it means when you come to be part of a program like this, you understand the value of someone else. If you talk to most elite athletes who play in team sports, in particular, I know because I remember hearing, was it Justin Tuck of the New York Giants talking about their team last year. They were 7-7. They were 7-7 after 14 games. Coughlin was what? On the hot seat on the way out, right? They just won 2 games, right? 2 games with 9-7. All of a sudden now they make it with them. A 6-game run, world champions. Coughlin gets a nice little extension. Eli's got one more than his brother. I heard Justin Tuck, he was talking on whatever TV show, he says, it's nice having the ring, because don't get me wrong. But all the things we had to do together as a team to get there means so much more. Being determined. And the last part, E stands for excellence. Right? And part of excellence, what's really nice about excellence is every kid can have their own bar of excellence. No one's bar is the same. What's excellent to me is my excellence. What's excellent to you is your bar. And you can sit and talk, and what is your bar of excellence? My son, God bless him, is a A/B student, but he loves getting C's. Well, he just did the homework, it might help. Right? And he's understanding this idea about the baseball field, he'd never do that. He would never. He would show up to practice, work hard, he would never allow himself. For some reason in the classroom, he lowers that bar of excellence for some reason. So we talk about it, what does it mean to be an A/B student? What does it mean to have A/B work? What does it mean to be focused on what you want? How do you set those goals? And so through performance, respect, integrity, determination, and excellence, we sit back, we talk to kids, what's your focus? Right? What are you going to do with this at bat? I'm going to get a base hit, coach. Okay, that's not bad. What are you going to do? Be specific. I'm going to hit the ball that way. All right, we'll get a little better. What is your plan when you go to the plate? I'm going to look for a pitch to drive. Or yet it's first, there's a runner on first and second. What do you need to do as a hitter in this spot right now? It's a 1-0 count, 2-0 count. What kind of pitch are you looking for the runner on first and second? Coaches, parents knows the answer to that. Where are you supposed to drive the ball?
Right side.
Right side of the field. Right? Right side of the field. You do that, that's the mental part. You're looking for that outside pitch. Derek Jeter is the inside-out piece, great, because you want to advance the runner. That's the mental part. That's the piece. When you're on first and you have to run to third base, what are you supposed to do between first and second in terms of running to third base? Pick up your base coach. Pretty simple. You know how many times kids don't look at their base coach? Getting towards second base, and hear the coach is screaming, "Get your thumb over here! I said stop!" Oh, I thought you said go. What's your approach? At home, what's your routine at home? I teach kids what is called visualization. Visualize yourself playing the game. At first it feels foolish. Talk to most elite athletes. What are they doing before a game? They see it. They see it. That is something that kids have to learn how to do. And what's amazing, they start practicing that technique. They'll come to me and say, "Oh my God, coach, I saw the pitch before it happened and there it did in the game." Yeah, that's exactly it. It wasn't exactly it, but I saw the pitch and I knew I was going to hit it right there. That's because someone has taken the time to teach them that mental part of the game. It's very important 85% of the time. We're going to make sure that if you're part of this program and everything else, and particularly they come back, that we focus on this whole different piece. You've got great coaches who definitely know a lot more baseball than I do, and I love watching them coach. And know that what you do in terms of this piece is something that can transfer all over the course of life, middle school, high school, college. This is stuff that's not being done. And this stuff I love to do. It's about peak performance. All these athletes who are all at the elite level, we're finding a way to communicate to kids, because ultimately, pride is not just about what you do on the field, it's how you do your job, how you treat your family, how you treat other people. Whatever it is, you want to have a sense of performance, respect, integrity, determination, and excellence. So, question? Anything else? Well, wow, thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure.